Right, hi there guys, this is Scapegoat Stephen. We're doing a sort of dual purpose video. This is both an unboxing video and a discussion on the locations and Winds of War deck from the Warmachine High Command Invasion of Sol campaign expansion. As you can see, it's a lovely box, it all comes in, lovely artwork, different the side. Dual purpose as well, this box is very useful for transporting your cards in. So, we just slide the top off. See, that's where all your cards come in it. Each of the decks for your various factions, Winds of War, locations, etc. Just put those in there for a second. What you can then do is flip the cardboard insert over, and providing I can actually get it into the box. There you go, and you've got a ready-made deck sort of carrier deck box to take with you. Obviously it's a little bit large, but if you're going to be taking a lot of stuff somewhere, you could easily fit 2-3 decks plus expansions in there, nice and easy. So what we're doing is put that to the side, and we'll go through the actual sort of meat and potatoes, the contents of each faction. We'll pop that to the side for a minute because that is a new rule relating to locations, and we'll just dig out the Signar faction to start with. So we have Captain Cray, when the video deigns to focus in on him. There we go, Captain Jeremiah Cray, 4-0. He rushes for 2 war. In addition to battle group commander, he has horsepower. When you rush a warjack cards this turn, pay their purchase cost instead of their rush cost. Quite nice, allows you to spam warjacks to specific locations. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hammersmiths, split 2 green, 2 blue, 1 red. And they sort of cycle for 1-1. They are a 2-6. They purchase for 4 war and rush for 7, and they have follow-up. If an enemy card moves from this location to another location, you can move this card there as well. So you can pursue an enemy card should try to run away from you using various abilities. You have Stormcaller Company, which cycle for 0-2 and are a 1-3. They're also worth a VP, purchase for 3 and rush for 6. Enemy warjacks at this location suffer -1 power. And we have 5 of them in here. So you've got 1 green, 2 yellow, 2 purple. Then we are into the Sword Knight platoons. They cycle for 2 and 0 and are a 2-3 with a rush for 5, purchase for 3 with Battle Brothers. At the start of an attack, if there are any other friendly cards with Battle Brothers at this location, this card gains +3 health till the end of turn. Quite nice. And there are 5 of them split across orange and red. So we're now into Menoth. And we start with Thyra, Flame of Sorrow. She's 4 power, rushes for 2 war, and has when you rush her, you may move 1 friendly card from another location to her location. Quite nice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sanctifiers split across orange and purple. And they are a 1-5, worth a victory point, purchase for 4, rush for 9. And this card gains +1 power for every 3 cards in your occupying forces pile, rounded down. So they can get good later in the game, I guess. Not sure, other than being worth a victory point, if they're worth running. You've got 2 command and 0 war for the for discarding the Knight's Exemplar Seneschal. It's a 2 or 3, purchases for 3, rushes for 6, and it gains +1 power and +1 health without any exemplar cards in your discard pile, so it becomes a 3-4. So it's quite reasonable for the purchase cost. And we have 5 of them split across green, blue and red. And finally for Menoth we have the Temple Flameguard Champions. They cycle for 2-2, quite nice. They are a 2-3, worth a VP, purchase for 4, rush 7. When you deploy or rush them, it has 5 base health until the start of your next turn. And they are 2 yellow, 1 blue, 2 red. So we're into Kador now. Let's quickly... Kador, so we've got Commander Strakov, he's 2. Rushes for 2 command. And when you rush Strakov, you can move friendly warjack cards from other locations to his location. So that's quite nice. We've got the Mad Dog, which is a Jack not yet seen in the war game, and that's in 2 purple and 3 orange. His artwork, he cycles for 0 and 1, he's a 2/4, but he rushes for 6 and purchases for 3, and he gives +1 power if there are enemy warrior cards at this location. Got the Iron Fang Pikeman Company, which are spread across red, blue and yellow, and there are 5 of those. They cycle for 0/2, they are a 2/3 themselves. They purchase for 3, rush for 5, and at the start of the attack, if there are other friendly warrior cards at this location, this card gains +1 health, so it becomes a 2/4. It's quite a cheap option. We're then into the 5 Manhunter Scouts, and they are split across green and yellow. They are 2/1s, worth of VP, purchase for 3, rush 4, and have that nice camouflage ability. During your battle step, you can choose to skip your attack at this location. So it's quite nice if you're trying to leave them holding a location temporarily. So, then we're into Cricks. So we have the Witch Covenant of Gargast. They are also 2 power, they rush for 2 war, and enemy cards at their location have 0 power. It's always a nice one. The Ripjaw, which cycles for 0 and 2, is a 2/2, rushes for 4, purchases for 3, and has armor piercing. At the start of an attack at this location, choose up to 1 enemy card at this location with 4 health or greater, and it suffers -2 health at the end of the turn. Okay, there are 5 of them spread across yellow and orange. Then we're into Bane Knight Cadre, cycle for 2 and 0, they are a 2/4, worth a victory point, rush for 6, purchase for 4, and gain +1 power during other people's turns, so they become a 3/4. They are split across red, purple and blue. You've got the Staxis Raiding Party, they cycle for 1 and 0, which isn't great. They have feedback. At the start of an attack at this location, you can refresh 1 card in reserves from the opponent with cards here. That's quite nice. Worth a VP, purchase for 3, rush for 5. And they are split across green and purple. So they're quite interesting. You get some decent use out of them. So if we go now into the location and Winds of War, we start with this new rule on locations. At the start of your turn, check to see if there is more than 1 copy of a location card in play. If there is, and any one of the repeated locations does not have army cards on it, you can place one of those locations without army cards on the bottom of the location deck and put the top card on the location deck into play in its place. You can do that once per turn. So basically, if you end up doubling up on the locations, you can swap some out. So we have the Gates of Saul, which cycle for a 2/2 and are worth 8 victory points. During the battle step, if one of your cards is destroyed at this location, your other cards here cannot be destroyed this turn. And there are 3 of those, so some very nice applications for that. The Walls of Saul, which cycle for 3 and 3, are worth 7 victory points, and cards at this location with less than 4 base health have 4 base health. So especially good on a heavy warrior list. You've got the Narrow Streets, which cycle for 2 and 3 and are worth 6 VP. Warbeast, Warjack and Warrior cards cannot be rushed to this location. There are 3 of those in the deck. So those, I imagine, could be very game changing for some decks. You've got the Menat Temple, which cycles for a 3 and 2, and there are also 3 of this. They're worth 5 VPs, and if one of your cards is destroyed at this location, you can move it to your Occupying Forces pile. That helps you get through your deck pretty quick with some aggressive cycling. Means you can get rid of some of those weaker, more, dare I say, useless warrior cards. We have the Exemplar Acropolis that cycles for 2/2 and is worth 8 VPs. Warrior cards at this location have +2 power and +2 health. So it could work quite nicely with a warrior heavy deck. With the Temple of the Creator, which cycles for 4 or 4, worth 10 victory points, and if one of your cards is destroyed at this location, move it to your Occupying Forces pile. That could either be a help or a hindrance, depending on how your deck is built. And then we have Sulan's Fortress, which cycles for 3 and 3, worth 4 victory points, and if you control 3 warrior cards at this location, immediately capture this location. So that could be quite useful in a rush-based deck, perhaps, that's high on warrior cards. And then we're into the Winds of War cards. So these are the early cards. We have 2 copies of Invasion Plans, which, as you can see there, cost of first card you purchase will deploy to includes for 2 command or 2 war. Very standard. We have 1 Vanguard, which is you can deploy cards with a cost of 2 command or 2 war without paying their purchase cost this round. Can be quite useful. 2 lots of plan of attack, which is when you add a card to your reserves, look at the top 2 cards of your reinforcement deck, put 1 in the reserves and 1 at the bottom of your reinforcement pile. Allows you to shoot through your deck pretty quickly and get hold of the cards you want early game, and even in late game if it pops up, although it is only an early war card. With mid-war cards, we have ongoing reinforcement. There are 2 of these. Each time when one of your cards is destroyed or discarded from this location, draw a card. Very big card advantage. We have 1 Vanguard, which is the one we've already found in early war. We have 1 Tactical Retreat. At the start of your turn this round, you can return a friendly card from a location to your hand. If you do so, draw 2 cards. Again, can be quite useful, especially with card advantage. You have to be very careful though, I imagine, with that one. We have a Coordinated Assault. If you deploy a Rush, a Warjack or Warbeast during your turn, the rush cost of your Warcasters or Warlocks is decreased by 2 command or 2 war that turn. Very tasty. And then we're into a Tactical Retreat in the late war, a Coordinated Assault in the late war, 2 Last Stands in the late war, Warbeast, Warjack and Warrior cards gain +2 health this round, quite nice. And then the Day of Reckoning, which there you go is the Auto Capture and Destroy All Army cards one. So that I think is a very solid release. I'm actually quite looking forward to using the location deck for that one myself, mostly because as you may know from my previous video, I'm running Thrall Spam, so both the location deck and the Winds of War deck are quite useful for me. So thanks for watching. This is Scapegoat Stephen, very brief rundown of Invasion of Sol for Warmachine High Command. Thanks for watching.